So last year in my garden, I grew a bunch of potatoes. And what I did with most of those potatoes was turn them into potato flakes. Right here, you're looking at a jar that is roughly 20 pounds of potatoes. I didn't use all my harvest for potato flakes, but I used a whole lot of it for this. I hadn't made them before, and I was curious about the process and to see how they would come out. After growing the plants and tending to them and harvesting them and peeling them, boiling them, dehydrating them, and then grinding them up into these flakes, I didn't even feel like trying them at the time. So I sealed them up in a jar and put them in the pantry. And today I decided to pop this jar open and make some of them for dinner. I want to see how they taste. I want to see how the texture is. See if they're comparable in any way to the store-bought potato flakes or the instant potato powder, any of that stuff. You can see the color's a little bit different than it is when you buy like instant potato powder. These are pre-cooked and then dehydrated. I learned one valuable lesson when I was dehydrating them, and that's to not use the mesh tray inserts in your dehydrator, because when you sort of smear on the wet mashed potatoes, as they dry, they just become one with those mesh screens. I was stupid. I should have used like the Teflon or the silicone solid sheets, but I didn't. So I completely ruined my mesh inserts. I had to just twist them and curl them and bend them every which way to break the potato bits out of it. And I still didn't get all of it, but I completely mangled the sheets. And I had to buy new ones. And a new set of those sheets for my dehydrator is about $50. I could have bought an awful lot of potato flakes for $50. Anyway, I'm going to make some. I'll make about a cup. The way to prepare these, from everything that I understand, is that for 1 cup of potato flakes, you use 1 cup of water. So we're going to try that method out and see how it works. So I'll get started by getting a cup of water boiling. Alright, my water's starting to boil, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the jar. That's a good seal right there. And I'm going to give myself about a cup of these potato flakes. And I should not have done that over the boiling pot of water, because now I've just steamed up my jar. That's great. I'm not sure how I'm going to address that, but I'll think about it. Alright, I'm going to stir this in real well and turn it on low heat. And I am going to cover this and let it sit for a few minutes. And we'll see how it comes out. Well, I took a peek at these and they were way too stiff. So I added about another half cup of water to them and let them soak a little bit more. And I just don't know about this. I think that it either needs more water, or I did not make very good potato flakes. I'm not sure how you really screw up potato flakes, but these are not looking particularly great. I'm wondering if I should try to mix in a little bit more water, actually. I've probably screwed the whole thing up because I should have added them to the very hot water to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more water and see if the consistency of this stuff doesn't improve just a little bit. I think the problem is that it's absorbed as much water as it can, and it just wasn't enough. So it's not fluffing up anymore. It's not getting any more of a mashed potato-like consistency. starting to wonder if I should have ground those flakes into a full-on powder. I don't know. Well, as long as I'm here, I'm gonna stir in a little butter. Maybe that'll help things a little bit. This butter's from the fridge, so it's completely stiff. So I'm gonna have to stir it in a little bit. I probably should have melted the butter a little bit too. So this whole thing is just an exercise in bad mashed potatoes, I guess. But this is why we do these trial runs. So if the time comes when I need to rely on my potato flakes, I know what the heck I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to stir these a little bit more, and I guess we'll give them a taste. Alright, well, I got them in a bowl here, and like any mashed potatoes, I like a little bit of salt and pepper on them. I guess I could have stirred this into the potatoes, but I usually like to kind of season it to taste after it's served. Oh, yeah, I'm not super excited about the consistency of this. I think I screwed this up. I'm gonna have to probably make a follow-up video trying a couple of different things, using more water. Maybe I'll actually grind the rest of my flakes into a powder and see. I'll give this a test. Yeah, that's pretty unsatisfying. It's not disgusting. The taste is actually pretty good. It's kind of more like the consistency of a mushy hash brown. It's like potato porridge right now. It's just that these flakes did not completely like dissolve into a mash, and I can only guess that I need more water and I need to let it sit for longer. With a little butter, salt, and pepper, the taste is pretty good. I guess if this was a case of needing calories and needing nourishment, I'd be happy to eat this, but a good mashed potato, it is not. So we're gonna go back to the drawing board a little bit on this. I'll probably eat a fair amount of this because, like I said, the taste isn't half bad. It's just a weird, kind of unusual texture. Yeah. So I guess that's about it. Potato flakes. Take one. We'll call it a functional success, but in all other ways, kind of a failure. So until next time, this is Great Lakes Prepping.